There are three major things that small businesses get wrong when it comes to selling. And look, I get it. When we started in business, there was no one really there to tell us, hey, this is exactly what you need to do in your specific situation. Of course, we have content creators and we have leaders out there who have reached massive levels of success, and they are trying to help us by giving us content. But one of the issues that happens with when someone reaches so much success and they want to start then helping the guys at the little bottom is it can be very difficult for them to remember the challenges and the specific problems that they had when they first got started out. And one of these problems and challenges is sales. There's really no one out there telling small business owners how to start selling, how to not be spammy when they sell, and really just how to do sales effectively. There's a ton of people out there trying to teach salespeople how to sell better, and all of that is really good. But really, small businesses need to understand the basics of selling in order to be able to grow their own businesses and be able to eventually hire salespeople anyways. And this is exactly what we're going to cover in today's video is how to start selling and how to do it the right way so you're building raving fans that will buy your products and services and recommend your business. The first thing that small businesses get wrong is they sell too soon. And look, I get it. Sometimes in a small business, it can seem like you have to sell to pay the bills. And sometimes it seems like you can't stop the sales even if you tried. And these are the cycles that we want to prevent in your business. And the way we do this is through consistent marketing and sales efforts. When it comes to your interactions with customers, when it comes to interactions with people in your community, you really want to sell when there is a specific problem that's mentioned and your solution fits and will help that person with their problem. There's so many instances where small business owners are in a position that they feel like they need to sell in order to keep their business open. Or maybe they're just so excited about their business that they want to tell everyone about it. This is fine. I understand both scenarios. However, this does not give you the right to go around and just vomiting your product and service over everyone that you meet. The idea of waiting to begin selling when there's a specific problem follows the idea of you should be focused on your ideal customers and should be focused on the customers that you can help the most. When you create your product and service, you should be creating a product or service that is widespread and helps solve the biggest problem for your customer. These are the people that you want to focus on. And so, really, you should not be out there trying to sell to everybody. You should just be trying to sell to a specific group of people that have this specific problem and can really benefit the most from your specific solution. I've experienced this in sales training before in multiple different environments. I have seen business owners do this at networking meetings. They just want to sell, 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 sell. And there is a time to sell and there is a time to market and build value. And there really is a big difference between marketing and selling. And if you sell too soon, all you're going to do is leave people with a bad impression of who you are and what your business is about. And honestly, they're only going to remember that. They're not going to remember any of the value that you might have told them. So you really want to focus your selling efforts where there's a specific problem and your solution helps. So let's say you're in a situation where someone tells you that they have a need for your product or service. This doesn't necessarily give you the right to immediately go into your sales spiel and start trying to hard close them on buying your product or service. This is the same for you as well as your team and your salespeople. You really want to build trust with that person first. Take some time to ask some questions. This really is sales 101. But again, we don't receive a lot of training in this as small business owners. You also want to wait until you have someone's trust to begin your sales process. Now, this isn't always a possibility. However, you should always try to wait until this point if you can. So let's say you're in a scenario where you're talking with someone and they mention that they have a problem that your product or solution can solve for them. This doesn't mean that you should immediately go into your elevator pitch or your sales pitch. You want to spend some time asking questions and you want to spend some time, one, getting some information around their specific scenario. This is going to help you tailor a sales pitch exactly for them, but you also want to spend some time educating them and building some value with them. Now, this all goes into the strategy of better clients. Again, you should not be trying to sell every single person that you see. You should be focusing on the potential clients and customers that have the most need and that can benefit the most from your product or service, because they will pay the most, the soonest, and they will be raving fans about your business, product, or service. Asking questions and offering perspectives that maybe the customer hadn't thought about before will establish you as that expert, and it will actually help them build trust with you. So that way, when you finally transition into that sales pitch or that sales process, you are already entering that process with established trust, and they will be much more open and receptive to hearing what you have to offer them versus if you just tried to sell when you found out they had a problem and immediately tried to fix that problem for them. The other time you really want to be focused on selling is when someone expresses an interest in knowing more about your product or service. This one may seem kind of obvious, but I see so many business owners that people will come up to them and they'll start asking questions, buying questions about their product or service, and the business owner just doesn't understand. They don't know what's happening, and so they do not go into their sales process. So you need to understand what buying questions are. What are the kinds of questions that people ask when they're really interested in a solution for this problem that they have, and they're asking you about it? This means that they are interested in buying, and you need to transition into a selling mode. And again, this doesn't mean that you just go right into your sales pitch necessarily. It doesn't mean that you try to jump on a hard close. You still want to build value, you still want to ask questions and build trust with them, but you need to be going into that sales mindset, and you need to be thinking about taking them into that process because they're asking you buying questions. The second thing that small businesses do wrong when it comes to sales is selling too much. Too much. One of the most obvious ways that small business owners do this is discounting. So I have some very specific philosophy when it comes to offering discounts, or it comes to offering promotions for products and services. And basically what that is I don't ever think you should discount a specific product or service once you've already reached a higher price point and you just are discounting it without reducing any of the value to get some last minute or to get some boost in sales for some kind of goal or metric that you have that you want to hit. The way discounting should be done is that you are increasing the engagement rate of the customer, and then you are rewarding them for doing so. So maybe they get a discount for committing to a longer term of engagement with you. Maybe they get a discount for buying more products or services. Maybe they get a discount for referring their friends and family, or for sharing content, or for giving a testimonial. There should be some kind of higher exchange in value when it comes to providing a discount. All you really accomplish when you discount an existing set price point for any of your products or services is devaluing that product or service.
That wasn't the plan.
It's going to encourage people to think, hey, maybe this product or service isn't as valuable as we thought, or maybe they just overinflate the cost so much normally that they are now able to offer this discount and it still be profitable for them. So you really want to avoid discounting without a higher level engagement as much as possible. The next way small businesses sell too much is by doing bad follow-up.
I'm following up.
I'm sure we have all been subject to someone who just didn't know how to follow up. I'm sure most of us have even done bad follow-up. I know I have, especially when I got started in business. And this can stem from a bunch of reasons, but bad follow-up can really just be sending out messages that are not engaging. It can be reaching out too much. It can be reaching out too little. There really is so many ways that follow-up can be bad. The idea that you want to have when you're thinking about appropriate and effective follow-up is there value exchange in this follow-up? Am I offering a new idea? Am I offering a new perspective? Am I offering a new value exchange point? Is there some reason that the customer or the audience would engage with me again because I'm sending them or calling them or showing them this message? If there is not a higher level of engagement or a new type of engagement that is created with this current messaging, then it is bad follow-up. You don't want to get into a rut or a pattern where you hear that, oh, you should be doing 10 touch points. So you just create 10 general ways that you touch people through your sales process, but you really don't have the value component figured out, and you're not really bringing them more value. there really is not a lot of point in doing a ton of follow up if you are not building value with that audience. If you're just annoying them and pissing them off, then they aren't going to do business with you anyway. So it's very important that you take the time to think about your follow up and make sure that your follow up is valuable.
I'm glad you're enjoying the video. If you need help with hiring, training, or managing your VAs, make sure you click the link in the description below to check out our free VA hiring workshop. If you need one-on-one help with me, click the link to schedule an appointment to see how I can help.
Another way to avoid selling too much is to use marketing strategies to actually create positive selling experiences and avoid the need of having to sell too much, too aggressively. And this comes down to where marketing and sales really work together. You want to have a consistent marketing strategy that is bringing you in consistent interest and consistent leads, so that way you're never in a position of feeling like you have to discount or that you have to over aggressively sell or follow up with your audience.
That would be nice.
Utilizing consistent marketing strategies and getting those consistent leads is going to prevent you from feeling like you don't know where your next sale is going to come from. And so you're going to be able to take your time and you're going to be able to focus on serving your potential new customers better and building trust, asking questions, and really just taking them through the sales process, doing smart follow-up instead of needy follow-up or bad follow-up, and really doing a higher level of conversion. The third thing that small businesses get wrong when it comes to sales is overcoming objections. It starts off with, in the beginning, they don't really understand the sales process. They don't understand what objections are and how to overcome them. So eventually they get frustrated with themselves, they get frustrated with customers, and their inability to communicate in a way that's going to convince their customers to buy from them. And so then they become too aggressive and they start blaming the customers and the objections or excuses that the customers have. So the real first thought here is that you need to understand the difference between real challenges and hurdles that your customers have and actual excuses. You need to understand and have empathy with your client or your customer or your potential customer, and understand that they may have real challenges coming up that are preventing them from moving forward in their purchase decision with you. You have to understand that we are programmed to buy with our emotions and then back up emotional purchase decisions with logic. And so you need to understand what is an actual hurdle and what is just something that we are thinking to ourselves in our head. Again, if you are focused on you as the ideal customer, then you should already have a good idea of what is a real hurdle and what is an excuse or a challenge that you can overcome just by helping your customer look at the problem and the solution from a different perspective. The next thing you really want to understand is their pain points and motivations. And so again, you should really understand this because they should have very similar pain points and motivations to yourself, especially when it comes to this problem that you have already overcome. But you want to understand this so that way in the sales process, you can speak about these problems and you can speak about their desires, their wants, their needs, and their motivations. And you can relate all of this back to why your product or service is going to help them fix that biggest problem currently in their life and help them see a transformation that's going to give them the thing that they want most. And then along with this, you need to be willing to come alongside your existing customer and partner with them on helping them utilize your product or service. People are going to be scared about making purchase decisions. They're scared about getting scammed. They're scared about buying a product or service that isn't good, especially when you're a newer business or you're just getting started with marketing and sharing your product or service with the world, and people don't know who you are. They're going to be skeptical of you. And so you should be able to offer creative solutions, and you should be able to offer strategies where you can come alongside your customers in different but manageable, engaging ways in order to help them benefit even more from your product or service. And so maybe this could be in the form of offering additional support. Maybe this could be in the form of a manual or instructional videos. In one way or another, you should be realizing as you deliver on this product or service that there are ways for you to further enhance this product or service and make it more usable for your customers so that way they can get more value and they can benefit quicker and better from your product or service. Remember, you want to develop your own style. We're all different. We all communicate in different ways. We all perceive things in different ways. And so you may be struggling with one of these areas, you may be struggling with all three, but the reality is you need to remember that people are going to remember you for how you made them feel and not necessarily what you said to them. If you make them feel really good, they are more likely to remember what you said. If you make them feel uncomfortable, then they are not going to remember anything that you said. They're just going to remember that uncomfortable feeling, and they're not going to want to engage with you again in the future. So analyze the feedback that you're getting from your current audience, your current leads, your current customers, adjust accordingly, and start selling better. Hey guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you got some value out of that, make sure you go ahead and let me know by leaving a like. I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, and comments down in the comments section. And of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos. We release 3 videos a week, one on sales, one on marketing, and one on VAs. And of course, if you want to check out some of our services or products, check out the links in the description, as well as you can find information on one-on-one coaching and consulting with me, where we can dive into the specific strategies and solutions that you need in order to take your business from 6 figures to 7 figures, or low 7 figures to more 7 figures.